It's your time to live well, and you have tuned into the Holistically Speaking podcast, where we're teaching you to be well and be whole in your body, your joy factor, in every season and pivot of your life, in your mental health and your well-being. Are you ready for this episode? Excellent. Tune in. You won't be disappointed. Hey, everybody. Hey. Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. More for me? Oh, you're so great. Hey, everybody. Y'all know that's just me. It is your well woman practitioner, LaShanna Moore of Holistically Well. This is another inviting, exciting episode of Holistically Speaking. And I am so excited, as always, to come and join you, to be with you, for us to discuss all things well and whole, because that is what this life is all about. Navigating this life, every season, every terrain, every cycle, every transition, every transformation of our lives, learning how to do it well and whole. And that is mind, body, soul, and spirit. So we talk about all things health and wellness and well-being. And we have really been kind of mainstream aligning our conversation with hormonal health, particularly the changes of life, the rites of passage, pre, peri, and menopause. I've introduced to you the Dear Pausy Body Program, which is intergenerational service and support program. It is a supportive service for those who are entering the pauses, for those who want to be prepared for the pause season, and for those who are well smack dab in the middle of pause. This is an opportunity to not feel isolated, to find community, but also to get education and really to learn how to bring joy into these seasons of life, into this rites of passage. We have them all throughout our lives, starting from birth and then going into puberty and young adulthood. We have had all types of transitions. And so this is just another one. And when we come together with joy, grace, and information, we can ease into this rite of passage, this new language, this new body love language that we're trying to figure out. We can do it with a lot more ease and with a little bit more mental stability. That's what it is all about. So listen, thank you for joining me. If you're catching live, if you're catching the replay, make sure that you have subscribed, both audio as well as the visual on Well Life TV. We are here holistically speaking on the audio on all digital platforms, and then visually on YouTube, the Well Life TV. So make sure that you share it. Make sure that you interact with us. For those of you who provide feedback and who have sent your review for the Holistically Speaking podcast, thank you so much. It matters and it means a lot. As we get ready for this conversation, we are going to prepare for our few seconds of breathing, relaxing, taking a moment. We understand that it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Taking the time in the course of the rhythm, momentum, and demand of our day to simply breathe. Inhale deep and exhale, allowing your body to relax, forehead, face, cheeks, your jaws, unclenching those teeth, relaxing your neck, your shoulders, your chest, unclenching your hands and your toes, and just allowing oxygen and blood to flow through the body. So let's have this moment of breathing and we treat, and then we'll get into this conversation. Breathing in and breathing out. I'm going to have to, for those of you who are watching, I am going to have to check our image there, because it should be showing you how to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And I noticed that per the last episode that we did, but I am going to make a note because it really is, it's just a guide for those who need a guide, for those who don't necessarily close their eyes, but do watch the screen. I want you to have that as a guide. So Let's bring our audio family back in, and then we're going to hop into this conversation. So, how have you been? I pray that you've been well. I say this on the podcast, specifically the audio podcast. Everything doesn't have to be okay, but we do acknowledge that things are well. That means there is grace, there is space, there is time within our lives not to know everything, to feel the way we feel, to exercise, stretch, dare, challenge our faith, to have our support circle very near to us, to have someone that we can talk to make sure that we have our joy outlets, we're breathing, we're having fun, we're making time for the things that bring us joy, laughter, which is our medicine, all the things. So everything may not always be okay. All right, such is life. Okay, I'm going to settle into this discontent, learn how to be content so that I can navigate and get the things through this time that I need. Everything is not well, but it's okay. And if this is a season of greatness and excitement and boom, then congratulations, because sis, brother, you deserve it. We all have seasons. We all have times of discipline and daring and detouring and going through things that escort us into the result of those hard seasons. So for all of you, my prayer is that you are well and you are whole, and that even if it's not okay, it is well. All right, so listen, we've got some things to talk about, right? Disclaimer on the screen: information shared on these episodes are the beliefs and opinions of the host, as well as if I have any guests. Health topics are not designed to treat or cure medical issues, so please consult your physician. Our spiritual episodes are from the foundation of our Christian faith. This episode, I am definitely sharing information from a lady that I love so very much. I'm going to try and get her on an episode with us. Her name is Dr. Mary Jane Minkin. I'm going to be posting her as well on my Instagram. She is wonderful. She's a clinical professor. She's been in obstetrics, gynecology, and reproductive sciences for a very long time. She has worked with Yale School of Medicine in Connecticut. She does a lot. She has her own practice as well called Madam Ovary, and she is just the bomb. So with my combined experience, information, and research, I am going to be sharing her information with you as well. I have to credit her for that. I have to give her a shout out. Y'all are going to love her. As soon as I can lock her down, I'm going to introduce her to my holistic family. So let's get into this conversation. All right. Check out the first slide. Here is the first slide. We're going to talk about what is happening to our breastises. All right, you see the mammary glands on the screen. Let me explain what's going on. This conversation is about all things breast, what's happening to our breast. And I also want to let me take myself off of the screen real quick so that you can see the picture in its entirety. Also, a special episode that includes our sisters, our warriors, our champions who have navigated through or are currently navigating through breast cancer. Sisters, we love you. Sisters, you go, girl. Power through, lean on your tribe, applaud yourself, give yourself plenty of grace, ask all the questions while you are undergoing this experience, and listen in to this podcast as well, because the information includes all of us, all women who have breast, whether you have full tissue mammary glands or whether you have had surgical procedure to remove your breast. This is still a big part of who you are as a woman. So I want to talk about what's going on with our breast here. It is not uncommon for us to experience changes as we enter into the pausy season. It's normal for our breasts to develop and change throughout our entire life. So think about that. You have gone through the development of your breast growing, regardless of how fast they grew and how big or how small they were. I don't know if some of you had those experiences as little girls where you were just waiting on your breast to grow. Remember the episode? Oh my God, was it the Cosby Show? It was some show, and the girl is like, I must increase my bust. Or was it? I'm gonna look it up. I may even put the clip in the show notes just so that you can go and reflect and think back and have you a good chuckle. But many of us were waiting on our breasts to grow as adolescents. Look, I was that girl, okay? I was totally that girl. I was waiting on my boobs to grow. I would write about it in my diary. I was the chick who was a late bloomer. So I did the things. I did the stuffed bras. It wasn't time for a bra yet. My mom, I think she bought me a training bra just to appease me because I was so ready. She's like, she would always tell me, LaShanna, everything in seasons and phases, which is true. She's like, when it's time for them to grow, they will grow. And so I would write in my diary, dear diary, still waiting on my breast to grow. That was me. I was totally that girl. So whatever your storyline is, I 100% understand. So our breasts have always been in some sort of development or transition. You notice it when you start your period. You notice it during puberty. You notice the different feelings of your breast, pain and swelling during PMS when your period is coming. So quite naturally, when we are entering into our pausy seasons, our breasts do more changes. They undergo more changes during perimenopause as well as menopause. Let me just remind us of the clinical definition of menopause: occurring 12 months after your last period. And during the time of your last period, which is the last of your perimenopause, it's not uncommon for you to experience different changes within your boobies. So let's talk about some of the changes. As you look in the picture here, you'll see the different shapes. They can become larger or smaller than usual. Now, I don't know if that's going to be an applause for you or a sad face. I don't know what that means for you. Govern yourselves accordingly. Let me go back. I thought I had it on the screen, but I don't. There we are. Let's look at the boobies. They may become larger, they may become smaller. Looking at the image, you'll see the different types of changes that the breast may undergo. So you want to know about what's happening. One of the significant changes leading up to menopause is losing elasticity. You've heard me talk about the need of resistance training for building muscle. The same is true with our breast, because your breast are mammary glands. It's tissue. When you lose fat, when you lose, when the hormones are changing, when there is a shift in estrogen, we see that effect with our boobs. And that it's not necessarily just during the rite of passage. That is, if you are a woman who's lifting extreme weight, you do a lot of heavy lifting, you do a lot of heavy training, you are training for a fitness competition, whatever the category is, as you increase your muscle and you drop a lot of fat, your breasts are often affected by that. And so a lot of women choose based on whatever, just taking a side detour here, because I have women, those of you who love the sport, and you may or may not have a trainer that educates you on this. You may self-educate, or you may go to somebody to find out or to understand what's going on. Well, when you lose the fat and you're building muscle, it's very natural that you lose elasticity in the breast tissue. And so we do encourage weight training, even for us, training the chest as well. It's not going to inflate your boobs back to the way they looked when you were in your teenage years, nice, full and supple, inflatable, but it will help to preserve the muscle and the strength behind the tissue. Let's continue to look at this image. Your nipples also change during your pausy years, particularly during the menopause. Now they can shrink. Your areolas may become inverted. You can notice little small bumps around the nipples. Let me pause right there and also say that breast cancer or signs of breast cancer are very rarely physical. You very rarely will feel a pain for breast cancer. Some of you may have fibrocystic tissue where the tissue surrounding the breast on the side of the breast can be very sensitive and very tender. So make sure that you are often performing breast exams on yourself or just the breast check on yourself, and that you are getting your annual thermography or your mammogram. So those changes happen in our nipples as well. They call them intraductal papillomas. They sometimes they bleed, they produce a discharge. That, and I'm talking about the bumps that you see on your nipples or around your nipples. If you are ever in doubt, ever uncomfortable, always consult your physician, your healthcare provider about it. They have options to remove those lumps if it bothers you to that point. Sometimes you'll feel lumps in your breast due to menopause. They're not uncommon. They are often benign. There are a lot of teachings and yeah, there's a lot of teaching and education surrounding breast cancer, it's themselves, and perimenopause and menopause. So I want to make sure that we do dedicate several episodes to that. And I want to make sure that I bring in practitioners for those episodes as well, because if you are able to catch the episodes live, you can submit your questions for that. So you want to, again, as I said, continue to have your annual exam. I know they changed those. They changed those exams now. I am just an advocate of going every year. A lot can happen. A lot can change within 12 months. My MD, Dr. Menken, who I just shared with you, she shares that leading up to menopause, the amount of estrogen in your body gradually decreases. Estrogen is that hormone that usually promotes breast growth. So again, estrogen is the main hormone that is going to bring the change. Let me go to the next slide here. That will bring change in our bodies. We're talking about these pausy breasts and understanding our breast. Making sure that you allow yourself to continue to learn about your body. You don't know about everything. You weren't taught everything, and you weren't prepared to know what the 40, 50-year-old breasts were going to do at 10, at 15, at 21. So let this be open information to you, free of any kind of guilt, shame, or judgment, self-judgment, okay? It's an opportunity to learn some new things because, again, in order to feel empowered and like we have some sense of control of body and self, it does start with education. It starts with education, removing shame, letting yourself remain a student of your life and of your body. So estrogen, a lack of estrogen affects the mammary glands. And the mammary glands normally produce milk during your reproductive years, causes them to become a lot more condensed. And so as a result of that, your breast shrinks. Some of you have had that experience where you had these big, nice, supple breasts during pregnancy. And then after the baby came, for some, everybody's story is different. A lot of women whose stories I've heard talk about how the breasts droop, sank, and all of that good stuff. This is estrogen controlled. So decreasing estrogen makes the tissue in your breast lose elasticity. Along with that, it causes our breasts to lose shape and sometimes become saggier than normal. That could have happened during child bearing years. That could have happened as a result of having your child, breastfeeding, and it can also happen as a result of the pausy season. So I remember Dr. Menken also making a note that if you are taking estrogen-containing hormone therapy, that it can quell the symptoms of menopause. We'll talk about HRTs. I did an introductory episode on it so that you can know what HRTs are, just the different types. But particularly if you're taking an estrogen-containing hormone therapy, it can quell some of the symptoms of menopause. Case in point, hot flashes, mood swings. You may notice pain and swelling in your breasts, and that's because the estrogen is acting on tissues in the body, including the breast tissue, producing changes that are similar to those that are related to PMS or pregnancy. So, never fear. It's not necessarily that you are possibly pregnant. Listen, it can be. Now, there have been cases, women who thought they were completely in menopause, being with child. But hey, I'm gonna leave that alone. It's just really basic. I mean, hey, the blessings happen, the unexpected blessings happen, the miracles happen. It really does happen. You're continuing to learn and grow. Also, because I have this picture here on the screen with the woman measuring her breast, it is important too that you give yourself space to change out your bras. You may find if you are you're in that period of the month that your breasts are being extremely tender, sensitive, heavy, that you may need to wear a sports bra or a good supportive bra to bed. That's okay. This episode is letting you know that these things are normal, that these things do happen. I want to talk about the flip of breast size, instead of not just decreasing in size, but your breast possibly becoming larger as you age. Now, this would be a prayer for me. Okay, I would be one standing in the prayer line. I would be the person. You can enlarge my territory if you'd like, Lord. You can enlarge my territory. But let's talk about it. So let me go back to that picture. You see the different shapes of the nipples. You see the direction of them. You also see the change of the breast for those of you who have had a mastectomy, maybe a double mastectomy. You see the changes of the size of the breast. You see the change in the direction of the nipples, and you see the shape and the drop in the breast as well. Now we know what these reasons are for. Let's talk about the opposite. The possibility of your breast growing. It's common to notice your breasts and nipples are smaller, but it is also not uncommon that because of the hormonal fluctuations that and weight gain as well, that you can notice your breast getting larger. So can I dare to say that maybe there is a benefit somewhere within the weight gain? I mean, for those of you who have desired larger breasts, I don't know. I guess it's all about how you look at the glass, right? It's all about how you look at the glass. But when there is weight gain, when weight gain occurs, your breast can grow. But another doctor that I love, Dr. Stryker, says it's not just about the weight gain. The hormonal shifts during menopause could cause the weight redistribution and sometimes causes the breast to enlarge. Here's the thing. The body doesn't govern particularly where weight goes. Hormonal weight, it goes wherever it sees fit. Now, I think, this is my personal opinion, what I think is based on our size and our stature, the weight looks different for each of us. For me, I'm a short girl. I'm 5'3". I will say, in my experience of being a personal trainer and helping to reshape bodies and build muscle, help women tone their bodies, that the shorter we are, the weight goes out. If you are taller, you may be blessed with the with a look of a more distributed weight. But there is no set standard on what that will look like or what will happen. So Dr. Stryker said it's not always about weight gain. Sometimes it is literally just the weight redistribution. And because of that, it can cause the breast to enlarge. It's also said that genetics can play a role. There was a study in the BMC Medical Genetics that researchers found that some people are genetically predisposed to having large breasts. But the researchers also stated that it's not clear to what specific genes influence the breast size. So take a pause, take a deep breath, Selah there. And to the next slide. Here's a slide of a woman doing a breast check. I encouraged you to check your breast. Always make sure that if at any time you have concern about your breast, the change or the tenderness or the knots or the lumps that you feel, as I said again, and I'm just repeating it because it is repetition is the mother of skill, and just reminding us to have the talk. Listen, you may not have, here's a side note, you may not have a physician that will have the talk with you independent. They may not, or automatically, they may not automatically have talks with you about pre, peri, or menopause. It's a conversation that you want to bring up. It's a conversation that you want to approach. It's a conversation that you want to make sure that you know your questions, that you always hear me encouraging you to take notes, write notes, journal. This will help your doctor. The more you are paying attention to your body and stop writing off what's happening, give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Know that the body is changing, regardless of how strong or how weak or how fragile or how intelligent she has been, regardless of how consistent or inconsistent or changey and switchy uppy she has been for you or with you. It's okay. Write things down, log things down. The more you're able to give your doctor, I believe the more equipped you can be in empowering yourself, and the more information you give your doctor, so your doctor will know what kind of assessment to make. I've also shared with you in the past that because our doctors are not necessarily required to have a full extended curriculum of hormonal health and understanding peri and menopause, your doctor may not have all the questions. So you find ways to politely ask them if they have experience or extended experience in working in hormonal health, or having patients, women in perimenopause and menopause. Say it nice, because doctors need the kindness too. You know, we're quick to demonize all of them, but it is what it is on both sides of the scope, allopathic and holistic. There are considerations on both sides. So have that conversation with them. I want to go to the next slide, and we're going to talk about some holistic help. Not really even holistic help, just overall help for the boobs. Some breast care. Take a look at that list if you are watching, and if you are listening, I'm going to go through the list. Drinking plenty of water. I'll come back and give more notes, but let me go through the list. Drinking plenty of water. Making sure you have good fitting bras, that's secure bras. Reducing or eliminating caffeines. Reducing salt. Considering evening primrose oil, that is a supplementation. And stopping smoking. Stop smoking. We want our breasts to feel good. We want our breasts to hurt as little as possible. We want our breasts to have a good experience along with us. We're holistic. You are an ecosystem. So we want the whole of us to have a good experience. Let me go to the bras real quick. Supporting your breasts with a good fitting bra can make all of the difference. Consider going to those department stores or the lingerie shops where they actually do a fitting. Save some money, put some money aside, a few dollars at a time if you need to, so that you can set an appointment and have a specialist to actually fit you, measure you, and fit you. It makes a difference. It really does, and you'll feel better. Look, every decision that you can make, excuse me, protein shake break. Every decision that you can make toward empowering yourself, feeling like you're in control, feeling good in your body, look, do it. For so many years, I have to take another rabbit trail. Y'all know how I do. For so many years, we have normalized pain and suffering. That now we've either gone to the extreme of canceling it or to the extreme of ignoring it. Find your middle ground. Okay. And then sometimes we get too vigilant, and then you start seeing people selling everything. And then sometimes we get too lackadaisical and we just deal. Find your middle ground. All right, let's move on. I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Avoiding caffeine. Just like it's great for your bladder health, cutting caffeine is also going to be helpful for reducing the tenderness and the pain in your breast, because caffeine feeds pain, just like caffeine can feed the pain during PMS, or if you have fibroids, or while you're on your period. I want to talk about evening primrose real quick. About 320 milligrams a day for about 3 to 6 months has been proven through research to help some women. Now, you hear me say some because I'll never give you stuff that's absolute. You hear me always say that you've got to try and test and see what works for you. That's why we give space and grace. But I definitely promote evening primrose oil. I have used it several times. I cycle off and on it based on my need. The Menopause Center encourages 320 milligrams a day. Evening primrose oil comes in different ways and different compounds. Hold 1 second, we got a comment. Hey, Cameron says, once you get a good fitting bra, you may discover you're in the wrong side. I have been through there. I've been through that, especially if you've lost or gained weight. Truth on truth on truth. Because you don't start out when you're having puberty and your boobs are growing and you get the training bra. Those were all one size. Oh, it was so primitive back in the day. I don't really know how it has changed now with our girls, but many times we don't do the bra fitting. And so again, I encourage that. Thank you, Kiambri, for that note. The evening primrose oil can definitely be a game changer. It can help. It does have a relatively safe profile. I would speak to my practitioner or my healthcare provider if you are pregnant or nursing. And I would not recommend it if you are preparing for any type of surgery, at least 2 weeks up to surgery. And the Menopause Center co-signs that as well. And if you are epileptic, if you have epilepsy, okay, excuse me. If you have epilepsy, it's possible sometimes that it can increase your chance of seizure. So again, anytime anything is recommended, always have that conversation with your medical team, your health team, your holistic team, both sides of the fence. Absolutely. Because empowerment and knowledge, applied knowledge, is the name of the game. Reducing salt. I want to also encourage you to consider reducing salt as well. It's going to help with blood flow, blood circulation, reducing hypertension. Again, your ecosystem. So many of these things affect one another. And then reduce swelling, because guess what? That happens in our breast as well, right? Making sure that you stay hydrated. You hear it all the time. Water, 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 water. And scene. Thank you. I think I have pretty much covered everything there. Quick moment to breathe, pause, Selah on those things. And then here's what I want to also encourage you. Let me go ahead and put it on the screen. I want you to go to dearpausybody.com. Oh, let me put the dot on there. Dearpausybody.com, because there is a library of resources on there. There's a members only section where members do receive a lot more personalized information, but there is an open library resource there as well. And I want you to go make sure that you stay connected to Dear Pausy Body and subscribe, because there are always updates. Action and empowerment is yours, sisters. It belongs to you. Let me also put up here we go. Holistically Well. Oh, she's not showing. There she is. Holistically Well with a W, holisticallywell.co. And she will always lead you to the Dear Pausy Body link as well. This really concludes the introduction of talking about pausy breasts, pausy boobies. We have providers who are available for you if you want coaching, if you want one-on-one help, if you want someone to walk alongside of you, because the truth is that we do. We do want it and we do need it. I had a very emotional day the other day, just, going through the changes and not having my mom here to talk to about it. to gossip about it, to laugh about it, to ask questions, because she definitely gave wisdom. And so whatever your challenge or your need is, have the support, get the support, connect with the support. All right, y'all. This is it. This is going to wrap up the episode of Pausy Breasts. This has been your Well Woman practitioner, LaShanna Moore. I want to thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being connected to this family. I appreciate it so very much. And remember, as always, be well and be whole. Bye, y'all.